Hello, I'm Leisa Holland-Nelson, co-host of Culture Club HTX. So excited to be here this week with my co-host,
Shavonnah Schreiber, the other half of Culture Club HTX, and our
very special guest, one of my dearest friends in the whole world for a long time, but I won't say how long, Suzan Deison, the founder, president, CEO, and big kahuna of the Greater Houston Women's Chamber of Commerce.
Oh,
the fastest growing women's chamber in the world.
Yes, yeah. I love it. See, and you've given us that title. I love it.
Did you just make that up, or is that? I think that's probably true.
Well, it is. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I mean,
But it is. It's true. It is.
And so we're going to get with Suzan in a minute and talk all about the Women's Chamber and the initiatives, and they're traveling. It's really amazing.
You're just in Mexico. I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, but first, we're going to talk about a couple of business things going on in Houston that we think are important enough for us to chat about, like BP and NASA beginning to collaborate on digital technology, shining a new spotlight on Houston.
On Houston and our friend Roger.
Yes, we met through
at a
Suzan.
chamber. Yep, at a chamber event. I can't believe it. We're going to have him on the show because one of the things I believe, I don't know this yet, Roger, if you're listening, you can confirm. I believe that he is involved in this particular effort at BP. And so basically BP, as we all know, is headquartered here in the Energy Corridor. And they have entered into this agreement, and they're going to be working with NASA, and it's called the Space Act Agreement. Very creative name. And this is one of the first collaborations, I think, ever with an oil and gas company and NASA.
They have a long history of working together.
But BP and this is pretty rare though. For this
developing
digital,
this, but BP NASA's been using BP's loop. They've been buying from them basically.
Gotcha.
For years, but I don't think there's been any kind of a coordination. But the big important thing for us is it just continues to grow our incredible role as a hub for innovation.
Absolutely. And this is a very innovative way of these two organizations working together. And so we'll see if we can get Roger on to tell us more.
Thank you.
Of course. And then the other big news is...
I don't think it's so great.
I don't think so
Singapore Airlines is leaving Houston, and they're the only direct flight out of Houston to Manchester, England. I don't know who flies to Manchester. I mean, I've only flown into London. But that's okay, too. But they're going to quit.
They're going to quit us?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how I feel about that.
They're quitting, which, means obviously there wasn't enough business.
Right. Well, and United flies, does United fly? No, they don't fly directly to Singapore. You have to stop. So, this is interesting because
they weren't flying to Singapore. They were flying Houston to Manchester, England.
Singapore was, but United, when I went to Singapore, I went
on
Houston,
United.
Yeah, but not direct to Singapore. Anyway, point is, Singapore Airlines is, I wonder will United pick up this route? Maybe United will have two now.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, I think it's not so good. Everyone else is coming to Houston, and they've decided that they're going to quit us. But that's okay. We have until April 1st of 2025.
Oh, they'll be here a while.
They'll be here a little bit
longer.
Well,
that's not so long. Oh, my goodness.
It's less than a year.
7 months.
Yes.
Really?
Well, I don't know about 7 months, but whatever. Let's not do the math. Well, we're going to talk about
so good with math.
Okay, so how many months?
7.
Okay.
September, October, November, December, January, February, March. April 1st, they're out. 7 months. So just give me a little homage.
Magical's clapping. Now.
Thank you. That works for me. And now, dun, 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 dun,
I do feel like you need a theme song, Suzan.
Well, that's true. We need a
when
little
you listen,
tune.
Promise there'll be one.
So what's your favorite? Yeah, so if you had to pick a theme song, which would you pick?
Gosh, something exciting, uplifting, maybe from Beyonce.
Okay.
I think that we'll have to look to her and use her to help us.
Magical, you got that? He's on the job. So, Suzan, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited. There's so many things we can talk about, as Leisa mentioned. But before we get to that, let's go down memory lane and tell us a little bit about your inspiration to start the chamber.
Wow.
How did it all come to be?
It started many, many years ago. I started my career as a receptionist at a chamber in Conroe. Never, ever thinking I'd ever be a chamber president because, it was all very male-dominated then. Gosh, that had to be 1976.
Mm-hmm.
So many years before you were born, probably.
Keep
Shavonnah.
going, keep
Definitely
going.
before you were born.
Keep
we
going.
get that all the time.
Yeah. But then I was an entrepreneur and I worked for other nonprofits, but really realized the value that a chamber can be to a small business and also an executive women. But we're the fourth largest city in the country and did not have a women's chamber. And then I had, fast forward, I had 6 granddaughters and I saw the role models that were out there and it really concerned me. And really envied what men had. They had the boys club, you know, and so creating a platform and a voice for women, it was just magical. And, you know, I always say I would never have met Leisa or so many of my great friends now if it hadn't been for the chamber. I think the timing was perfect. It took a year, you know, all of 2007. I really worked on getting it going and had a lot of support, even from the chambers that I'd worked for in the past. But I was president of the Greenspoint Chamber and then the Galleria Chamber. So that really did help me too in my leadership skills.
Well, I like to say I've been voluntold by you for a very long time.
You do say that all the
I
time.
do all the time.
You say that all the
You
time.
know, I mean,
But what a blessing you were. We met. I
it's
remember.
been amazing. It
I
was
know
at
you
the
came.
luncheon.
Yeah, you came. I thought we met before that, but you came to the luncheon.
And you
Yeah.
gave me your
Yeah.
card, and then you
Yeah.
called and invited me to come visit for your first board meeting because it was your
Come
first one,
visit.
and I should come and watch. And I got there, and I had a name tag. It said Leisa Holland-Nelson, board director. And she says, "Oh no, that didn't happen. That has happened so many times."
I don't think so. I think you tell. You know how.
I
good it
know.
is when
Yeah,
you're
you
around.
know.
You know, I'm outnumbered here. So I may
Okay,
have
so
to
what's
stop.
been one of the most rewarding things, other than meeting Leisa and many other wonderful women?
I mean,
Obviously.
there's thousands.
Seriously.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What's
But
been
I
the
think,
most rewarding?
yeah, changing the trajectory of women, young women, you know, from we have programs for 3rd grade girls up to
good.
women that are retired. And, you know, we always talk about diversity and all. I don't know that we bring up age diversity a lot, but a lot of women now, you know, there's mandatory retirement and different things for them. But we provide a place for them to start again, you know, start a company. I know I started the chamber when I was 57. Should I tell my age or?
I mean, whatever. Yeah, be proud.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
it's-
So
You're giving it away
and to
anyway.
make- I
Well,
know.
only if they're
I
as
do
good
have
as math
great
as
grandchildren.
you
It's
are.
kind of hard to deny the
You
fact.
can't hide.
I know.
No, well, and you shouldn't. You know, and I think that's another thing. So, to your point about age diversity, diversity in industry, one of the things I like the most, and I've personally found the most rewarding about being a part of the chamber is just that. It's anything you need. If you're a woman in business, anything you need, any person you need to know, if you're a member of the chamber and connected in the chamber, someone will help you get to that need or that person. 100%.
That
And
is-
all in one place.
So true. Well, and you know, even in the 70s, in my lifetime, women could not even have credit in their name. Just look now how far we've come. We're owning businesses. We're starting them up. I
Absolutely.
mean, just amazing leaders in the country. So I really feel like that we bring them visibility.
I couldn't agree
yeah.
more. I mean, and I just want to say one thing, having been part of some major leadership organizations in Houston, they're generally fairly exclusive to the top woman in the country, in the company, and the company has to be X size and all of this. So what happened with the chamber was all of the 2nd and 3rd women who were just as great
And probably
had
doing
a
all the
place
work.
to
That's
go.
fine.
Had a place to go. And so, and the other thing was that they were always accessible because of the way you set up the chamber. You know, we could reach that
Person,
that was a
absolutely.
decision maker.
Yeah, so many people have said they finally feel like they had a voice.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
And a voice, and then I think the army of women behind you that gives you the confidence, right? So, for example,
so true.
that 2nd or 3rd woman in said organization that it's a member of this chamber, maybe they hadn't always felt as empowered to go on and get that top spot as CEO, but they come to the chamber, they get the support, and then they go on to to bigger and better things.
They see, oh, you did it.
Exactly.
I can do it too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
I'll
so
never
proud.
forget we had Lauren Anderson, you know, come to speak, and she went to the YWCPA to speak, and of course all of the girls in the audience were just in awe, but she was reflecting back to say, when they said, would you be Cinderella, she looked at him and said, you know, I'm black. You know,
Yeah.
but
And they're
for
like,
those,
yes.
the girls in the audience, though, to be able to see that,
Yes.
gosh, I could be a prima ballerina. You know,
Absolutely.
that's just one example, you know, of the amazing women that have been on stage.
That's amazing. So tell us, I know you mentioned the program for 3rd grade young girls. What are some of the other initiatives that the chamber has underway that maybe people don't know about,
Yeah.
and they should.
Yeah, well, Love What You Do is an amazing program where we mentor high school and college students, and juniors and seniors. And it's a program that's just been amazing. We've helped them find jobs, internships, and they come back and thank us, for believing in them. And a lot of them have not even thought about entrepreneurship or other things that they could do. But once they come and meet other people that are doing things in the community, they said, well, gosh, I want to be part of that too as well. I know our Women on Board initiative has really helped women get on corporate boards. The statistics still are very low for corporate board placements.
Yes.
So we're very excited that we've helped place some of the women, and on the nonprofit boards, it's about 85% of women led. So we're very excited that we're able to help move that percentage up. We have amazing programs with governmental affairs. I'm sure you're aware that women have the majority vote now. And so we have a very strong voice with our legislators. In fact, we had a luncheon yesterday with the mayor pro tem and the vice mayor pro tem, and they were sharing too. I didn't realize this, but to have legislation or have something passed, it takes a vote of 9, and there's 10 women now on the council. So what power?
Excellent.
Not that they're always going to vote on the same thing, but there is.
But when it's a
lot of
issue,
synergy there, that really
and for
creates.
issues around that affect and impact women in particular in this city, then I'm thinking they probably are mostly aligned for the most part. So that's great.
Yeah, and I know Martha
Kasich
Tatum was sharing how it takes a woman 8 times to be asked to run for office, where a man, you could ask them one time and they're there.
You don't even have to ask them.
Yeah.
They just show up.
So she has volunteered. We are going to host an event probably in November to encourage women to run for public office.
That's great.
Yeah, because what better forum than the chamber?
The chamber,
to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some membership benefits. So for some of our listeners, they're like, okay, this sounds amazing. How do I sign me up?
Okay.
So let's talk
and
to
it's
us.
very, very affordable, too, as well. We do have the Women's Business Center, too, as well. So we received a grant from the SBA about 4 years ago. And so we even have opportunities that are free. You don't have to actually join, but we're hoping that you will. But there's a lot of startups that have a lot of expenses that don't have the money to join, but we help them with certification, so they get jobs and procurement opportunities with large companies and also the city. But the membership, though, is based on your number of employees, so it's very affordable again. But just think coming to an event and being able to meet the CEO of a company that you've read about in the newspaper, and she's right there in the room, and that you can meet them.
You just can walk over and say hello, and it's amazing how thrilled they are to meet someone.
It really is. Yeah.
And the other thing is the events happen at fabulous places, everyone. So that's the other thing. So the events, like the luncheon this week was at Tony's, for example, right?
Yes.
So that's another thing. So in some cases, not only are you meeting women that are the most senior person in their organization, or they own the organization, you're going into some really excellent, whether it's a retailer or a restaurant, etc. Chevron, we did the panel that we sat on it was earlier this year, was at Chevron. Beautiful facility, and all courtesy of the chamber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And about 5 years ago, the Texas Medical Center Women's Health Network merged with us because they really saw the value of being in the community, not just being in their bubble there. And so we're able to really bring more highlight to women in that industry. And another program that I'm very proud of is the allyship program, where McKinsey had an article showing a lot of people were leaving healthcare because they didn't have access to the CEO or see a way for them to climb the ladder. And also the allyship program, through sponsorship, they identify 2 people within their organization that they really believe in, and they help get them on a board, a chamber board or a nonprofit board. They help them with leadership opportunities. And so it's really working out because we're measuring it now.
Excellent.
Yeah, and the financial institution, too, is looking at it. I don't know if you've heard the percentage of women that are in high-level roles, or the C-suite and financial.
No, what is
industry.
the percentage?
It's between 5 and 7%.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That's
I know.
no bueno.
Even though they're the best wealth advisors there are. Seriously.
Yeah.
Usually.
I mean, it's crazy. And it's not that they're not doing well. They're just not running the companies.
Correct.
Yeah.
So tell us how to find more about the chamber. Where do they need to go?
Go to the website that is hosted by Astounding. Yes,
I say so myself.
Yes.
Or
At
LinkedIn.
ghwcc.org. All of our emails are on there, so I'm very open to open door policy. Would love to hear from anybody, and I would take time to visit with them and hear what their needs are and try to introduce them to two of y'all. So y'all get ready.
She will do it. She'll get
One
you connected.
last thing.
Here we
I
go.
can't help myself.
We know.
The event of the year is coming up.
Yes.
So we want everybody to know when it is, what it is, which is really a week away, and how they can still get.
Yes.
Come.
It's the International Conference for Women. We're very excited that this will be our first year to celebrate internationally. We now have a chapter in Mexico that is flourishing now, and also in the UK. Last year, or I guess it was 2 years ago, the Parliament called and they want to use our chamber as a blueprint to open women's business centers in the UK.
So great.
And now we've spoke to the Mexico Senate. I know you brought that up earlier, and they are adopting our Love What You Do and our Steamtown USA and our women's business centers in Mexico. I mean, we're influencing
people all around, women all around the world.
No, you're.
So when is
true.
the event?
So it is August the 23rd at the Westin Galleria. It's postponed from May, so it's going to be even bigger and better. But do you know that I think we just lost 2 speakers and maybe 2 people. Everybody else is coming and they're excited. We even have more people coming. I know you'll have a front row seat there as usual.
If I don't, then I'm on her piggyback. You know,
She'll change the name card.
Exactly.
She'll come sit there. Are you able to come?
I was just going to say, let me look. I think I have it on my calendar. I'm almost
But before we close, we need to talk about y'all will be walking the runway.
Yeah, we're going to be.
Yay.
We are. That's right. We're role models this year, and that's September 27th?
27th. Good.
September 27th.
First time at the Post Oak
Hotel.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And Tracy Shapiro with Vision is back with us, and
So
we're
excited.
going to really blow it out of the water.
So be there or be
excited.
square.
Yeah.
Be there or be square. You heard it here, folks. And with that, we'll go to a break.
We'll be back.